welcome, Burton Cummings, to
Hi,
Q107.
No, thank you very much.
That was
Good
quite
to see you again, man.
Good to see you, too. We've been reminiscing already about stuff.
Well, every time I come and do anything with you, I have to reiterate. I've known you a long time, but I'm a fan. I'm an authentic Kim Mitchell fan.
Aw, thanks.
I loved Rockland Wonderland. I loved, Rock and Roll Duty. I loved the Max Webster stuff. I have all the CDs, every single one, with you guys in all your wonderful outfits. And I saw you in Winnipeg, and I'll never forget it. The 3 sets of drums on stage doing Battle Scar.
Oh, in Winnipeg,
blew me
yeah.
away. I still remember that like it was yesterday.
Okay.
Tremendous. So I'm happy to be here, man.
Oh, we're happy to have you. What is bringing you to Toronto? Well, by the way, that's it. I'm going to go home and crawl up in the fetal position and cry that you just said all that. That was awesome. I really appreciate that.
Oh, it's just truth.
What is bringing you here? You don't hang out in Toronto.
I don't live here, but I spend quite a bit of time here. But my new album, my live album called Massey Hall, is officially released, I think, on the 30th of October. So I'm here doing some promotion, letting people know it's out. And I'm very happy with it. I'm going to be 65 in 2 months. I have a new album coming out. So what's not to like about, I feel pretty good right now.
You look great, man. And I mean that. You look very healthy. You look happy. There's a sparkle in your eye.
I feel pretty healthy. I finally quit smoking smoking cigarettes. Finally quit smoking tobacco about 2.5 years ago, and it has made a difference. I don't know if I sound that much different, but it's easier now to do a 2-hour show. And we do about 2 hours now when we play. Mm-hmm. And I haven't had any alcohol for a few months now, so I'm.
We'll have to change that.
Well, I think I'm reaping the rewards of all that abstinence. Now
Sure.
I'm not quite ready to move to Tibet yet.
Yeah, you're not a Boy Scout.
No, but I just at this age I can't be a 19-year-old anymore, and
Sure.
I'm trying to look after myself a little better. I have a new set of heroes, Kim. People like Gordon Lightfoot and Steve Miller, and guys that have reached 70 and they're still out there kicking ass. Mm-hmm. We did a show with Steve Miller last summer, in Pomona, California, the California State Fair. And this guy came out, man, and there were 15-year-old kids screaming and singing along to everything. This guy's 70. And you stand there and he does Rockin' Me, Baby, Take the Money and Run, Fly Like an Eagle, The Joker. It's not what you think of as a 70-year-old, and mm-hmm. It was just tremendous. And I that's the way I want to be, I want to keep going for a while.
I want to ask you, what I remember the defining moment when I wanted to be a musician as a young little kid. What was that moment for you? Was it a record that you heard? How did you all of a sudden go, ooh, this is what I want to do?
My mom always had 78s at home. When I was a tiny baby, actually even before I went to kindergarten, I somehow learned the concept of records freezing time. Even before I was ever in kindergarten, I'd crawl up on the chair and crank up our old 78 player with the needles that you used to have to keep putting in, and I would play Guy Mitchell and Perry Como and Eddie Fisher and Bing Crosby stuff that my mother had. About 3 or 4 years old, I already realized, wow, this freezes time. When Guy Mitchell finishes singing that song, I can put this needle back to the beginning and hear the record all over again, mm-hmm. as many times as I want. I think that's what really initially fascinated me. And then I heard Fats Domino. And then Fats Domino, man, wow.
Yeah.
I'm a kid in Winnipeg, a little white boy in the north end of Winnipeg, and I'm hearing this, the wind in the willow play la sweet melody. I didn't even know what he was saying half the time.
That's true.
But I
isn't it vibey?
Fascinated by that. I was fascinated by all of that, and it was Fats Domino, early Elvis, possibly a little bit of Jerry Lee Lewis, because I liked the piano players that sang and
mm-hmm.
played. And, of course, Ray Charles. Ray Charles was a huge, that was like an epiphany for me, a real opening of the brain moment when I first discovered Ray Charles, because that was a different kind of soulfulness. Fats Domino was great, but it was all very simple 3-chord stuff. Mm-hmm. I started hearing Ray Charles and some of those Quincy Jones arrangements, and, oh, man, I was
So spool ahead then, Burton, and when did you start writing? Do you remember your first song you wrote?
Oh my gosh, they were pretty lame.
Well,
But everybody has to start, you know.
absolutely, man.
I'll bet Michael Jordan even missed a lot of shots as a
Did you
kid.
hear?
You know.
Did you hear any of my first radio shows? Speaking of lame,
Well, I've never heard anything you've done that's been lame.
Oh, stop.
You know what, man? I got to tell you this very briefly. I did one of those writing workshops one time in Los Angeles at L.A. School for Musicians or whatever.
Yeah.
And you sit around with the piano
MIT.
and you play a little, and somebody yells a title, and you try and make up a song right on the spot. And I did that for a while, and then all of a sudden, all the guitar players' hands went up, and they all wanted to know, did I know Kim Mitchell? I'm not kidding you.
Stop it.
A huge following in the guitar world down there. So I think I've told you that before, but I remember that very distinctly. Now, as far as I wanted to make records from a pretty young age. I started writing songs when I was about 12 or 13.
Wow.
They were pretty horrendous, but everyone starts somewhere. And I still have some of those tapes. We may put some of them online at some point.
Oh, that would be fantastic.